Is my microphone on? It is. Okay. All good. The good news, like Jeff would say, is we're in the final quarter, so not too much more of your Sunday. Is everybody with me? Everybody ready? Don't have that much time left, and I promise I'll get you all out of here on time, back to your families for the rest of Sunday afternoon. So what we're going to look at for the remaining time here is just some other elements of income generation. So we're going to look at a few sponsorship tools, so things that you can use to help get a sponsorship and help deliver it. Your sales strategy, so how you might use those tools, how you might get a sponsor. A little bit then on CSR, which we spoke about earlier with Marcel. And then a bit about managing your sponsors, which is really important as well, because obviously it's much easier to keep a sponsor you already have than to go out looking for a new one. So how do you manage that sponsorship? So can I just ask first, what sponsorship tools is anybody already using? Like, what do you guys use? Or do you even know what I mean by that? Like, yeah.
They're not our sponsors yet.
Yeah.
But right now I'm in talks with Gatorade and Powerade.
Yeah.
And none of them have a market here or advertising.
Yeah.
So having them come to our sports club and using their drinks as is the only one in the Balkan region.
Yeah.
For athletes.
Okay, so that's quite powerful.
Yes.
And when you're talking to them, do you go into them with a presentation on a laptop, or like how do you make that approach? Is it more casual?
We're not there to that point right now. We're in the beginning of the talks. But our strongest point is that it's a big marketing advantage for them because there is nothing like that in this region yet.
Yeah.
So they could be the first people here, and it could explode for them.
Yeah.
In their sales and advertising, marketing, all that.
Yeah. So it's looking for that kind of unique point
Correct.
of difference that they need and that you can offer them, and
Correct.
then building a proposition around that.
Yes, because if somebody sees Gatorade in our team, somebody else is going to want it, and region around it, the country.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And can I ask you as well, like when you're having, let's say, that conversation with Gatorade, are you, I don't know, putting that on an Excel spreadsheet that
Correct.
you share with other guys in the club? Yeah.
Right now we're setting it up like a project, like a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
But then once I go back to the States, we'll be completed.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. And then when you do leave and go back to the States, you can pass over the PowerPoint and
Correct.
the Excel and to
Correct.
somebody else, and they can carry it on.
Correct.
Cool. Well, because it's exactly those kind of tools that we're going to talk about next. So, can I ask you then, seeing as we've started on it, do you use a PowerPoint? Or is it PowerPoint?
Yes, it's a PowerPoint. Yes.
Because we're obviously using PowerPoint here.
Yes.
But a bit like the conversation we had yesterday around different social media and that, there's some and websites, like there's some really cool other platforms there as well, like Canva, Keynote.
Yeah.
There's stuff nowadays that more or less writes the presentation for you and makes it look really
Correct.
cool. So that's worth remembering. I mean, everything here today we're going to talk about sort of PowerPoint, but there's loads of options out there. So a sponsorship presentation is basically a sales presentation. And how many others in the room, maybe put your hands up, how many of you have a presentation that you have prepared? You guys have one? Yeah?
Here.
Anybody else have one? You have one? Yeah. And do you find it useful? Do you use it? Keep it updated?
We keep it updated, yes, but we tried getting some sponsors with it. We have a budget in which we need for a full season, a half season, a quarter of a season, everything that they may be interested in. We have the data for our academy and our youth, because we only play with the youth leagues.
Okay.
But it wasn't very useful, I think, until now. I hope it will be more useful in the future, but yeah, we do it. We have it and we update it every year or so.
That's great. Because you know the sort of stuff Gustavo was talking about earlier about your attendance figures, your statistics on your fans, all of that stuff you can be capturing and keeping in an updated presentation. And then the other stuff that Gustavo spoke about when you're doing your audit of your assets, hopefully take photographs of those assets, and then all those can be stored in your presentation. So you have this sort of presentation pack that's ready and being updated constantly. So when you have a an open conversation with a sponsor like that, you're ready to go to them with that information. So I suppose a few other things about a sales presentation as well, or a sponsorship presentation. It's about telling a story. So basically it's, tell me about me. So I am whatever club I am. Tell me about you. I'm Gatorade and you're coming into the market and you need this thing. And then tell me about you and me. So why does my club and Gatorade work together? What can we make in this market? And that's basically the construct of your sales presentation. Tell me about me, tell me about the fans, the data, the club. Tell me about the sponsors, so it's clear that you know who you're talking to and you've targeted it a bit. And then how do we look together? So what are the assets that will work together? How will we sort of create this shared future together? So what I've got here, and Gustavo's going to give them out in a minute, I've got a bunch of ideas and things written on a sheet that could go into a sales presentation. And in a minute, I'm going to put you into different groups as well, not your tables, just to change things around a bit. And I'd like you to take this pack of papers and put them out on the floor or wherever you want, just so you can see them all. And I'd like you in your group to discuss them and to decide, I think this should be in our sales presentation or not. Like, it's okay if you think some of them, no, we don't need that. And put them in the order that you would present them. So imagine I'm Gatorade, or I'm the beer sponsor from earlier, but how would you, put the presentation in that logical sequence that you'd be coming and presenting them back to me? So that's the task I want you to do next, and I want you to do it for about maybe 15 minutes in the groups. But first, something else, I need you to teach me something. How do I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in your language? Ne, deux, tres, quatre, pass. Ne, deux, tres, quatre, pass. Okay, I'm going to go around and give everybody a number, and you need to remember your number. Ne, deux, tres, quatre, pass. 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 Ne. Okay?
The best way to learn numbers.
Best way to learn numbers. So can everybody could you give a ne?
Okay.
Any of the ne? A pack? And all of the ne, maybe go over to that corner of the room.
Who's the
Do,
ne?
come over here.
Do.
Tre can take this place, and quattro pass, maybe
Who's
back
do?
there.
Who's do?
Stand up,
Do.
take your pack. Maybe
No,
one
no.
bit, no,
Quattro and
separate,
pass.
but take a corner of the room. Yeah.
Cut. The twos. The threes. The fives. Four is here, no?
No, four,
Two.
three. Yeah.
Four is here.
This
Three.
is three.
No. Where is four?
Four
Four are
is-
lost. I feel where are lost? Where are four? Five there.
Where's your four?
Four is here. Four is
Four
here.
is here.
So
Four.
here.
Yeah, four is here. Okay? Okay? So take them, I would suggest put them out on the ground so you can read them all, and then you need to organize them. So put them in sequence as if it was a presentation, exactly. Whichever ones you want, like if there's some of them that you think, we don't need it, then leave it out, but have a reason why you leave it out, because maybe take the Gatorade example, because that's
Task is
real,
clear?
so it's practical.
Any doubt?
Yeah.
Task is clear? Okay.
Do you know what I would suggest even?
Task
Put them
is
all
clear?
out on the
Do
ground.
you know what to do?
So you can see them.
Okay.
And what you can do is even decide what sponsor you're thinking. They're going to use Gatorade, but you could use beer, you can use a real sponsor you have. So, and also if there's some of them that you think, nah, I don't like that, then leave it out. But I might ask you why you've left it out. So, yeah. Yeah. Like, So you can
Yeah,
think as
do.
well of a potential sponsor, like if you want to target this at the beer guys, or you choose. Yeah. And also, if there's one that you think, nah, we don't need that, then leave it out. Yeah. But I might ask why you've left it out. So, yeah. Yeah, so have a rationale. Are you staying for the rest of the session? Because I might ask you a question then, or I might, well, in a little while, it's going to be about sort of, corporate responsibilities, social responsibility is going to be part of it, but also getting grants from like local authorities, municipalities, all that. So at that point, I might, because presumably you, in your new role, do that with the clubs. And at the start of the session today, we asked them where they get most of their income. And a lot of them said, number one, municipality. It depends on the city. Yeah. Okay, so. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they said sponsor. Yeah. Okay, so. Thanks. How was last night? Good. Your head is okay today? You happy? If you want, you can choose a sponsor that you're targeting this at as well. If you want, you don't have to. But you. I've said that to all of them.
Yeah?
Yeah, and they can
Because
throw stuff out.
I'm not sure if all got it.
But if they throw stuff out, they need to tell me why they're throwing it out.
Okay. You ready? No, it's not right or wrong.
What group number are you again? Two. Two is the winner, everybody. I was joking. Two is finished first. Okay. Do you know who's going to present? Okay, very good. You decided, executive decision.
Yeah, it has some logic. I will do a few things different, but it's good.
We believe in them. Or we could put sponsors in front of our strategy.
No, it's okay. It's okay. What the only thing
How
I
are you
think I
getting
will take a bit differently is the data.
It's
I
getting
will put a
close.
bit before,
Yeah.
even our sponsors,
Working on it. And do you know
broadcast
who's going to
channels and
speak?
audience. No, don't change. It's okay. It's okay. It's not bad, but normally,
Name.
I guess what is below that
Okay.
one?
Copper.
Medium. Okay. Everything that put in
Name,
context,
do,
or we are
play.
talking, because it's not the same that you're talking about 1,000 people or 200,000 people. So everything that helps to put in context helps.
Oh, yeah?
Where
Yeah,
will
yeah,
your money
gonna
be
win.
spent? That's interesting to put
Who's
it
going to
there.
present?
Uh,
Yeah.
So these kind of things, game day attendance and broadcast, normally it's a style thing.
Sunday
We
is
do
a day
it
of rest.
at the beginning, to set up the environment so they know what is the environment exactly. It's just a style again. We will do it even at the end, appendix. So
Okay, you're ready?
it's not
That's
good
good.
or bad, but it's just style. But the storyline makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you discard things or you use all?
So a
You
case
discarded.
study could be
There
an
are few that you didn't
example
use. You
of
use
what
all.
you've done with
Okay.
a different sponsor.
Okay.
So, something you've done in the past that worked out. I mean, I think you could even
No, it's
use a
okay.
case
It's okay. And
study
then
from a
could be to share what was the discussion.
sport or something
These
that
are
you
the
haven't
things that
done. You
maybe
said,
were
"Look, we
not
could do
super
this
clear.
together." But that's what your case
Sorry,
study is.
not in that.
So,
The idea is that what will be nice to hear is where was easy to define, to decide, what was more difficult, what was the discussion that you had. Maybe we all thought that maybe this one, but then we discussed and then it changed this, and more or less justify the flow. It's not what type of things you will put on them.
it's good. Good. Do 2 more minutes, everybody, and then
Yeah.
we'll
But
present.
it's like this and then like this. Okay. So it's like this. Okay. Okay. Very important. Huh? In what? Football. Madrid. Madrid.
Yep.
In football.
So rights offering, so that's what your assets are that you have. So that might be your tickets, kit, etc., all of that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
It's a nice discussion point, the fees. This is good. Digital academia, digital extra.
Very nice. Your
Okay.
pictures yesterday were great, by the way. They were sent on, yeah. Good, so. What's that?
Our history, our vision of basketball, our strategy, our sponsor. Okay. Thank you at the end, it's a good one. With this one, nice tip, nice tip. Okay. Okay. I see a trend here. Good. It makes sense, but we will share few tips. Well, normally we tried once the vision,
Yeah, we start.
strategy. Maybe our sponsor is the only one. I'm not sure. That top. Normally, data is very important to put at the beginning.
Which one?
Data. Anything that you have on data. So could be.
Okay,
pictures,
everybody,
social
we're
media,
gonna restart.
audience, game day attendance. So they give the person that you're talking context. Because if you put it too much at the end, it's like they need to, okay, everything that you're presenting
Okay, everybody,
what is the
Very good.
magnitude of it?
Excellent.
So
Ready?
this can be used as
you guys
context
are ready?
to understand if you have or if you don't have, you
Yeah,
just
all sorted?
present it.
Can you run through the idea of, I mean, if there is no strategy, if there is no sponsors, opportunity with partners,
You guys ready?
key
Yep.
future events,
Start.
there will be no, I mean,
Okay, folks,
game day, social media, stuff like that. I mean,
everybody ready? Can hear me?
they've given priority a lot. to
What I
sponsors.
suggest is you
Without-
stay in your
maybe
groups.
we're not very- but
No, it's
without that,
always good.
Stay in your groups, but make sure that you can see what's going on.
down there would
Okay?
be-
More difficult.
yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we will discuss
All
about
right.
it, but good.
So I think because they finished first, we're going to start with do. Number two, do, two. Okay.
Two.
The floor is yours. So everybody listening, can everybody see our colleague
mic,
here in
please.
group two? The mic. So if you could please talk
Number
us
2
through
will
your logic.
present.
So with our, I guess, meeting with our sponsors,
Yeah.
we would start off with the welcome page.
Very good.
Very good.
Welcome page.
Yeah.
Very
Thank
good at the beginning.
We got that one right. So.
Yeah.
And then after that, we would talk about our history of the
Okay.
club and the city and the people around it and why they should be our sponsors.
Okay.
After that, our strategy on what we want to do, where we want to go, how we want to get there, and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then-
Folks, can I have
Please.
attention, please, in the room to group 2? Everybody listen.
And then after that, our vision for basketball and how it relates to the sponsors' marketing objectives
Okay.
Okay.
on why, I guess how both basketball, our club, the city can relate, and if we have the future visions together.
Okay.
After that is our sponsors and what sponsors we have, why they picked us, why they should stay with us, and why they're going to keep staying
Okay.
with us. After that is the opportunity why partner with us, which goes together with
Yeah.
our sponsors.
So that's the you and me piece?
Correct.
Yeah.
Where their money will be spent. The new sponsors' money will be spent. Their rights, what we
Okay.
give them for rights offering. Key future events, I think, is very important as well because that's their marketing, advertising opportunities for, that is
Yeah.
both for us and for them.
Yeah, what you've both got in your calendar.
Exactly. And then after that is the broadcasting channels, media, audience,
Okay.
numbers pretty much. This is where the numbers come in,
Yeah.
I believe. And then game day highlights.
Yeah.
So that brings them in, that we have the audience, we have the media, we have the fans, the city with us, behind us.
Yeah.
Game day and game day attendance as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, this section is all numbers.
Yeah.
This is where you lure them in mostly.
Yeah.
And then benchmarking versus other clubs. Why they come to us against the other clubs.
Against the others.
Exactly. And in most cases, it comes to the numbers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Digital content case study,
Yeah.
sponsor case study, and fees.
Okay.
Fees in the end, just because you gave them all the evidence,
Yeah.
you gave them the price, and if they don't, if they
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
and
Get them. Yeah.
you get them good. So if they don't
Yeah.
want to do the feat, then you
Then-
go back and show them the evidence again,
Okay.
so it refreshes in their mind.
Very good. Thank you.
And in the end, the thank you.
I have
Thank
just
you.
2 questions.
A few comments.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Please,
or-
go ahead.
And I don't want to say too much probably because each group is going to be telling us the same thing, but just a first comment here on
Yes.
our history,
Correct.
that can be a little bit boring.
Yes.
So you might make sure that your history bit is very short. It's very interesting to you. It's not that interesting to them.
Correct.
So if anything, I would potentially say leave it out, but you could have it there at the back if they're really interested. You can send them on some history afterwards, but go straight into more the contemporary,
Strategy
what
and-
we're about.
Yep.
And the other thing, which I think is going to be a talking point today, but is the question on fees. So do you even mention fees at all in this first meeting? If it's a first meeting, you might just say you'll whet the appetite and tell them a lot and leave fees until afterwards. And there's two kind of
2 weeks ago
two ways
about
to
it.
think about that.
Yes.
So I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's another option as well to not speak about money at all first
Correct.
and to just, exactly.
Good.
You-
No,
yeah.
just the 2 questions for the group is, what did you discard? Did
Nothing.
you discard anything?
Nothing,
You used
yeah.
good. Not necessarily that you need to use everything, just a question. And everybody was always agree with the flow? You had any discussion on?
I had a little bit. I thought that the attendance, the numbers should be a little ahead
Okay,
Yeah.
towards the beginning,
okay.
but we went with
With
the
other-
other way.
Okay,
yep.
good. We will speak about a bit later. Cool.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yes, round of applause. What's your number? 4. Quat.
Thank you. We'll start with a welcome page and then move to the opportunity why partners with us. We have listed a couple of things why you should be our partners. It is why we provide team spirit, integrity, respect, accountability, and transparency to you as our potential partner.
Great, so great into your values, straight into your values.
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. And then we'll move to the game day sponsors because it's important for the presence of the partner, which we have we thought about displaying the logos in arena and building the highlights of the videos, because we have thought that you as our partner, you are providing the home appliances and visual, let's say, LED displays and scoreboards.
Very good.
So we can use this these things to display the videos and go alongside with your logo and sponsorship, which is important for us. It is a vision why you as a partner should join us in a club. It is a vision because we think to build a strong and healthy community which is aware with values of teamwork, since the basketball presents a teamwork and team spirit. So this is
very good. You're linking your values and theirs.
Digital and social media figures, what we can offer as a club, it is that we have a dedicated social media manager, which is fully engaged for managing our social media channels. Currently we have, let's say, we are present on a Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. We are planning to go on a TikTok.
Super.
And we are building up, because now I'm doing the sales pitch to you.
Perfect.
And we are planning to develop our YouTube channel, which will be as a value added for uploading the games which comes to the broadcast channels and audience, to upload the highlights of the game day, followed by the logo of the sponsors or their motto they will have. The same for the game day and game attendance. We are planning to build a sales point for the tickets, branded booth with logo of the sponsor. During the game for our sponsors, we are planning that during the halftime to have the let's say a kind of finger food or cocktails to give them opportunity to meet each other, and build relations. Right offerings. What this is something common we see it is LED displays, shirt. In a shirt we are planning to have not more than 2 sponsors in order to keep the shirt jersey and to keep the exclusivity to our sponsor, not to put too many logos on it. The broadcast and the channel audience. Currently, games of our club, let's say, are broadcasted by two national TVs. Each game is live broadcasted, and it has quite wide, let's say, range of audience. Also, as we are building the YouTube channel, we will use this as a channel for broadcasting the highlights.
Very good.
Where will money be spent? It is most of the money will be spent on organization or clubs operations, which most of them is going on salaries of team and other members of organization. And what it is main goal of our strategy, it is to develop the young generation basketball.
Okay, very good.
So this is by us.
So you left out fees?
Yes. By purpose. On
leave
purpose.
That for the next conversation?
Yes.
Did you leave out anything else?
Yeah, we left a couple of things which maybe it's because of the time, and we have valued this more important
it's
to
more content. Excellent. Can I ask a few questions and make a few observations? How long would you have your video at the start? How many seconds or minutes of highlights video would you show the sponsor at the start?
Okay.
This video.
Maybe 10 to 15 seconds.
Perfect. That's what I was going to say. I wouldn't show any more than 45 seconds maximum. So it's enough to get a flavor of the excitement, but not enough that they're starting to go, Jesus, when these guys are going to leave. So that's perfect. The other thing which I think is excellent that you did here is having the sponsors meet each other, because that's a lot of what sponsors want to get out of the thing, is meeting the other sponsors. And in fact, I know a lot of you have municipality as partners. Often sponsors want to meet the municipality because they might not have access to them otherwise. So that can be a real win-win as well.
Real situation, yeah.
Yeah. One thing then that I would suggest you might consider doing differently is where will your money be spent?
Yeah.
So the sponsor hearing that their money is going to be spent on team salaries and operations, isn't that motivating?
Okay.
Whereas if you can show that the money is going to be spent on the youth development or something that's a little bit more aspirational, even if in reality it might be some there and some somewhere else, but it's a more interesting story for them to show that they're supporting the under 12s and under 14s or something than paying salaries for grown men. It's it's a more compelling story.
Yeah, the reason why I said it is connected to the opportunity, why? Because of accountability and transparency.
Well, and that is important.
Yeah,
So.
and on the strategy, we have mentioned that the strategy is to develop the youth, and so it can be connected. Thank you for your suggestion.
Thank you.
I think just a highlight here is that there's no right or wrong on this.
Yeah, sure.
This is the first time that I'm doing the exercise that I see our strategy at the end, but in this flow that you created, it could work. So there is not a right or wrong on this, as you believe it's a flow that you can follow and you are accomplishing something. So, but well done.
Thank you.
Very good.
Excellent. I just made it up. Please, take the floor.
Yeah, we have arranged the flow of the presentation. It's starting with the welcome page, then talk about the history of the club, then our strategy, and right after our strategy we would like to talk about the basketball, and our vision relates to the sponsor and all that thing. Then case study, to them give them some numbers, benchmarking with other teams, where will the sponsorship money go, then all these starting with some highlights and give them some feeling of
Flavor
of the
excitement
club.
and
So and then talk to present them some
statistics, is it?
all these things up to the so this will be all in one place. And then we have here opportunity why partner with us, and we put it fees in the end, but we took off our sponsors.
Okay, why?
We didn't want to
Conflict them?
we think we can bring ourselves troubles on that.
Well, as Gustavo said, there's no right or wrong. Like sometimes for sponsors, like I said with the other group, they want to meet each other and they want to know about the other sponsors. Maybe in a certain market it might be the right thing not to say it, or not to say it at this point.
Yeah,
and
not at this point,
later.
because if I'm going to for a platinum sponsor, so I don't want to.
You want to have a conflict of sponsor, exactly.
Yeah, but maybe the other case is that when you sign a big partner that everybody likes that brand.
Yeah, so we put it. This is like the first step.
Very
Then
good.
if you want to show like who's supporting you and you're the next one, then from platinum, we finish platinum, then we go to the golden breakdown.
Okay.
One other suggestion I would make is you put your opportunity, like why partner with us, down here at the end. And in theory, you could also start with that. This is why, and now I'm going to explain you everything why. So just another way of sort of flipping it on its head.
Okay.
Cool. Any other thoughts from your group? Did you all agree on
We discussed about so this part should be first presented, then to start with like bringing things together, but as you say,
it still has a logic. And it could be.
I have a presentation. It doesn't look really good, but I could like get some good money for the team, so I just did that before. And here, to explain it in simple way, all this will come to the use in maybe from next season on, because last season we just had to contact a person who will open your door and go to the sponsorship, because here everybody is one call away. So if you find the right person who can refer you, so and now we have built something. We have numbers, we have experience. Now we put that all in presentation and tell them that okay, this was our last year. this year we move on to the next level and we continue.
That what you say is very important. The person who you're presenting can change. If you're presenting to a CEO, it's very limited on time.
So
maybe our history, like she said before, our strategy, maybe not in that presentation. But if you are speaking with the CMO who just arrived to the city, who doesn't know anything.
Here, for example, our main sponsor doesn't have a marketing department. I directly talk to the guys.
And the other point as well, a bit like we mentioned yesterday about having photography and content. So you were saying you've got your stuff from last season, but any opportunity to take a photograph of a kid enjoying themselves at a game, it's worth capturing all that imagery because all of that can be really useful for those presentations.
We think about using that kind of
stuff.
Yeah.
Super, thank you. Who's going to speak? Have you been voted again? Yeah. Okay. Urgent.
Okay. Should we wait?
Should we wait for you or will we continue? Will you? Yeah?
No, please.
Okay. Okay, so first we got the welcome page. Nothing special, just welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got our history. Just like small little details. On first, I want to mention that in every slide, not focus on more than 10 seconds to 15, because if the sponsor is interested in sponsoring my club, he will ask for any of these in depth.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay.
Do thot si faqen e parë kemi welcome page dhe vazhdojmë me tregu historinë e klubit, ku në secilin slide kena me qëndru vetëm 10-15 sekonda jo me vazhdu në detaje, pasi që secili sponsor që është interesuar për klubin ton ka me na vetë tani për ma shumë detaje.
Then we got our strategy and our vision for basketball, plus how it relates to sponsors' marketing objectives. We think these are very important to discuss in order to gain trust in sponsoring. Then we got...
Si dy pika të rëndësishme, I kemi strategjinë tonë edhe vizionin për basketball, po ashtu qysh ajo lidhet me marketingun edhe objektivat e tona.
Great, so that's the me and you bit, so it's telling me about me and you together,
Yeah.
That's great.
Then we got the opportunity, like why partner with us? What do we offer? What do we do better than other clubs?
Yep.
Yeah? Yeah, we will show what we do on game day and on attendances, and then where will we spend, where our money will be spent. We need to get...
Okay, vazhdo.
Okay. We're also going to talk about where all will our money be spent. We have to give account, of course.
Where will it be spent?
Yeah, where will it be spent?
Yeah, did you
Okay,
discuss
yes,
that?
yeah, in equipment, you know, just for taking the club forward.
Okay.
From the sum of the money.
Yeah,
Okay.
depends from the fee.
Okay.
Okay.
Si pika të radhës janë mundësitë e bashkëpunimit dhe çka klubi jon mundet me ofru dhe çka bën ndryshe në krahasim me klubet e tjera. Slajdi në vazhdim është dita e lojës dhe pjesëmarrësit në ditën e lojës, po ashtu kemi me tregu ku kemi me shpenzu paret që kena me marrë nga ky sponsor.
Great.
Then we got the digital and social media figures. We put that in front of broadcast channels because nowadays the social media is way more powerful and way more popular than broadcast channels and audience like live TV. So yeah, we decided to put that in front. Then we got the digital content case study and broadcasting the channels. We will basically just explain where will the sponsoring, the branding be put, like in what social medias, in what type of form, layout. Yeah, how visible will it be to the public? Then we got...
Tani kemi rrjetet sociale dhe digitalizimin ton. Këto kemi vendosur me qit para kanaleve pasi që për momentin rrjetet sociale janë më aktuale në shoqërinë tonë. Po ashtu kemi me boni për një njoftim. Ku shfaqen reklamat edhe në çfarë mënyre po ashtu sa i përket kanaleve kemi me cek ku transmetuan ndeshjet tona.
Then we have the key future events. I think it's very important for your sponsor to know your future events, your big future events. So where will its product be showcased? What type of audience it's going to have? How big is going to be the attendance and stuff? Yeah. Then we got the sponsor case study. Yeah, just study over the case. Then we got our sponsors. We thought it's going to be a good idea to implement that on the presentation because it shows you have other good relations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're already in the market.
Yeah. And then we got the game day highlights video just to give a view on what type of game we do, like the attraction, the stuff. Then we got the rights offering, like where will the where will we the stickers, the things where they will be put, like where do we allow them to be put?
Good.
That's of course according to the fee, which we did not include in the
No, you left a few things out.
Yeah, we left a few things out. No, just only to the benchmarking with other clubs.
Yeah.
And the fees.
And can I ask why you left out the benchmarking against other clubs?
Not any particular reason. The presentation would be too long. And just not everybody has good relations with all the clubs. So yeah.
I personally would agree with that because I think perhaps in the future, but I think it can sometimes come across as negative.
Yeah.
If you're positioning yourself against
of
other
course,
clubs, you're maybe better to say nothing and let them do that analysis themselves.
Yeah, same with fees. It'll be discussed in the next meeting if the sponsor shows interest in working with us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The other point just on sharing who your other sponsors are, and we already mentioned in the other group that it can be useful networking, but the other thing is it shows your positioning. So if your other sponsors are Gatorade and Teb Bank, the new sponsors, they've got like really good sponsors.
They're serious.
If it's the local butcher shop, that's fine, but it positions, it shows your positioning.
Overall, any sponsor is good sponsoring because like you're more trustable.
Yeah.
You know somebody trusts you.
Yeah.
And
and
it's
also, the local butcher shop can also be fine because you might be a community club, and being anchored into the community is a good thing as well. But you need to be able to explain that story.
Yeah.
So
everything in detail once the sponsor decides if he wants to go with us.
Exactly. Great. Thank you. Anything else?
Depends from needs of sponsors.
What's that? You
Depends from needs of sponsors.
It depends on the needs of the sponsor.
Right.
Exactly. Great. Thank you. I think. Who's the speaker?
Okay, I'll be because the other one has left.
Conveniently.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, we were not very sure between welcome page and thank you which one should be the first.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, welcome page, and then we have our history. We just want that our potential sponsor, we want to know where he is going to invest. What's our history?
Yeah.
What was the struggle of the team to achieve where they are? Then as a second is our vision for basketball and how it relates to the sponsor marketing objectives. Our vision for the basketball, let's say we are focused on the youth to take from the street and include on the active sports and how it relates their sponsors marketing objective as well, that we will let them know that they will be also a sponsor on the youth taking from the street to go to the sports. And as the third one is our strategy. We just want to let them know that our short-term strategy and a long-term strategy, and this is related for, let's say, the sponsor will be there for a short time or for a long time, the effect of their commitment to the club.
Yeah.
Our sponsors, we will tell the sponsor that it's not a risk to invest on us. You see, we have other sponsors as well. They are with us for many years, and we just don't want to feel them they are alone when they will join our club.
Yeah. So you look after your sponsors.
Yeah. The opportunity why partner with us, we will tell them the reason why is good for them as well as it is for us to be with our club. Sponsor case study, we will tell one of the case that worked for the sponsor, how it, after the season, how the sponsor has been happy with our work, and we will, of course, we will tell the good case study. Key future events is on this part, we can also work with the sponsor we will let them know what we plan for the future and how they can be involved in those events. Right offering, the guy that left had a good idea. I forgot what he said on this one. He had a very good idea, but
it was about Gatorade, I think, wasn't it, or something?
No, the Gatorade.
Oh, Gatorade?
Yeah. Okay, I will skip that. Where will your money be spent? This is due to the honesty to the sponsor and transparency where the money is going to go. So we're not doing anything after your back. Yeah. Digital and social media. Yeah, we will talk what we have on this actual for the team. What of the social media has. I mean, we will tell them the Facebook and Instagram, or plans to go to the TikTok and other YouTube channels and stuff like that. Broadcast channel audience, we will tell them that actually the league or all game that are, how to say, every of all game is being live on 2 television in our case in our league. So I mean, the logos and your company will be appeared on television on every week or every 2 times a week, depend on the schedule. Game day and game day attendance, we will tell them that about the fans, about the choreography that we will work with fan, and the atmosphere that is being created on the game, and things like this. And of course, after the game, there goes the game day highlights video. On these highlights, it's not only the game highlights, it will be the atmosphere on the venue and also the parts of the game, the highlights, the dunks, the good action and stuff like that. Digital content case study, we will discuss with them and tell them that how one of the let's say a post that has been done on the media has gone potentially viral, and how that affects benchmark with all our clubs. This we didn't remove anything from our slides that we have, but benchmark with all the clubs. It's good to see where we at in comparing with the other clubs. Of course, there are better teams and there are lower team, but it is a fair play game to tell them where we are.
And what you can say there is you can say, look, we're fourth in the league, so we're not winning, and we haven't won in 7 years or something. But actually, our attendance figures are higher because we do very well with sponsors, or our social media figures are very high because we have great fans. So you can show it in a nice way as well.
Yeah, of course. And the fees in the end. So after all this discussion and stuff, then we are going to the final stage, the fees, and as gentlemen said, there is no bad.
No, exactly. There's no right or wrong.
This is all. I don't know if the other guys have anything to mention, but we discussed together, and feel free if you others chip no sudani. Okay. And we are open for any suggestion.
Super. Thank you very much. Great. Thank you. You can take your seats again with your new friends or your old friends, whichever you prefer. All your friends are gone. Yeah. What did you say to them? Yeah, exactly. I think you should have stuck with your new friends, actually. Look, up here is the logic that we've suggested, in which we've put the sequence of the presentation. But look, I think like we've just discussed, there's no right or wrong. It's what makes sense for your organization. But what I would suggest, and this is something maybe as a piece of homework or a takeout from today, is create this presentation. Even if you don't have a sponsor right now you need to send it to, but a bit like you and I were discussing, if you just gather your information, gather some nice imagery, gather your statistics, and have it in one place, and then next week when you're at a match and a guy sits next to you and says, oh, I kind of like it, send me on something, you can go, oh yeah, no problem, click send, and you've got something prepared and ready that you can send out to prospects. And maybe once a month or once every 2 months you go back in and you update it a bit with the latest figures or your statistics, or if you actually have a full presentation, you'll put the front of it and the end of it on it about the specific sponsor. But I really recommend that you have some document like this in whatever format you want, PowerPoint, Word, Canva, but just a sort of a bank of information just ready, a kind of a sales pitch. Really useful. So, by the way, you can see there as well, we left out the fees, and you can see that we left out the history. So, just to, but again, there is no right or wrong, but that's something you can maybe introduce in your second conversation. So, that's sort of it on the sponsorship storyboard. What I'm going to talk for a little bit about next is this whole idea of corporate social responsibility. And I know I asked earlier, and Marcel gave the definition, but once he gave the definition, like, is this meaningful to you guys? Like, is this something that you think, yeah?
Oops. Very meaningful.
Yeah.
On the journal? I couldn't know what it stands for, but yes, especially for oil companies here.
Yeah.
Because we have some big oil companies who are investing money.
Yeah.
One of our sponsors is oil company, so we can like bring it to another level with them, considering the CSR. So, as who mentioned before, so also the corporate should be aware of.
Yeah.
Ready department for this issues. So
yeah. So it's absolutely happening, and like what we see in some markets is that this whole idea of corporate social responsibility is becoming bigger and bigger. So I think it already exists here, and my expectation would be that probably budgets in this area will even increase. And yeah, please.
Yeah, I can agree. I didn't know the acronyms for what stands, but I just want to mention that our club that I'm presenting, we have done couple things. Like I remember, of course, I'm going to talk before the pandemic, before pandemic killed us all. I mean, and we have invited the kids with the disabilities on the training. When our team has been training, we invited them, and those kids played with the player, and I remember their faces, they were super excited. And also re-mentioning about when we organized the Final 8, we have a special space for the cystic fibrosis for the kids, and we have how to say, some of the fees from our tickets we have designed it to go to allocated. And we have done some of these, but to be honest, I didn't know the acronyms for that. But of course, you reminded us that we know that NBA players, NBA teams doing a lot, going to the hospitals, visiting the kids. For the Christmas, they're sending the toys and stuff like that. And I think all the clubs, especially the clubs that are in high level, we can do that. It's not costing us almost nothing. Why not doing that to be more present in the audience, in the people?
Absolutely. So I suppose to sort of define it, corporate social responsibility it is a type of sponsorship, but the company that you're connecting with might be Shell, for example. So they want to do it because they have a poor reputation, perhaps, in some markets or with some demographics, and they want to be seen to do some good things. And you also get companies like, in my market, for example, Vodafone, which is a big telecommunications company. They do some really big sponsorships as normal sponsorships, but they also have a CSR budget with which they will partner with smaller clubs rather than maybe big federations, and they'll do a smaller amount. And it's there on their website under CSR, and often, in fact, the application process is a bit more like your grant application process. So in that way, it can be easier. You don't have to do such a big, hard sell, perhaps, as you do for a more traditional sponsorship. So again, it's a way, I mean, all sponsorships are a way for companies to talk to their stakeholders, but in this case, they're partnering very much with your values, and that sport is a good thing, and that's what they want to be seen to partner with. And in return, they possibly ask a little bit less than some other sponsors, so it can be a good way of connecting. So, on to the next one.
What are you doing?
So, there are, I suppose, kind of 4 different types of organizations that you can connect with, either through a sort of a CSR budget or a sort of a grant piece. So the first is government, and actually earlier on when we named your sources of income, back at the start of the day, whenever it is, but that municipalities piece came out really strongly. I was going to ask Granite, but he's not in the room anymore, but he works for the city here, so he was giving me some examples earlier when we spoke about how... no, don't worry, because we probably don't have that much time. Yeah, exactly. He was out last night as well. I think he probably doesn't want to talk. But I think, so the government piece, by the sounds of what you've said, you're all probably fairly well connected in with what is happening there. I think everybody named municipalities. So, and I guess it's probably a grant application form, and it's, yeah. There is, and Rudmilla and I were talking about it earlier, at I suppose an international level as well, there are opportunities through the EU and through Erasmus, and Kosovo can partner with other countries, so it can be an accession piece. And I think, again, obviously that's something you'll find out about through the federation, but that is obviously a possibility for clubs. So then there's things like aid agencies. So I don't know whether operating in this country there are things like, I don't know, UNICEF or American aid agencies or that kind of thing. But often they will have, again, a sort of a CSR budget, and they like to be seen to be connected into the local market in which they're operating. Then civil society organizations. So this might be, I don't know what an issue might be in Kosovo, but a mental health organization or something. And they might want to partner, again, with your club because they see it as a good way of kind of sharing the stories about mental health. And again, it's a bit like your application form to your municipality. It tends to be that you're filling out kind of grant applications, but once you've done that hurdle, it's a bit easier. So a lot of it is about doing your research. And then there's businesses with CSR, like we've mentioned. So again, your Vodafone, your Shell, whoever it might be. Like I noticed in my country, for example, Lidl, the supermarket, they have a CSR budget. And I noticed that Lidl actually, I think, has 3 outlets now in Kosovo. I was looking this up last night. Lidl, the German supermarket? Yeah. Maybe 1, and maybe 2 more planned or something like that. But anyway, there's companies like that that are coming into the market that definitely work in the CSR area, so it might be worth getting in there now, yeah, while they're starting to expand. Okay, so next I have a question, and I'm going to maybe ask my beautiful assistant to write on the whiteboard. See the nice role reversal I did there? Okay, so if you were thinking about basketball and participating in basketball, what are the benefits of participating in basketball? Anybody? Society benefits? Like, yeah?
Yeah. So we tried to bring this to our sponsor to tell him that a part amount of his money will be invested in our school. so investing in our school, people academy will be like orientated
Towards children.
Towards children, orientated to sports and not to some bad habits.
Perfect. And taking people off the streets. You had a suggestion? Yeah.
Can you repeat the question, please?
So the question is, what are the benefits to society of participating in basketball?
Like health.
Health benefits?
Yeah, health benefits in general, and socializing.
Absolutely, social benefits completely.
And just creating a new culture, like for example we did in our city. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's culture. That's very good one.
Anybody else? Anybody over here got an idea? What's good about participating in basketball? What are the benefits to me or my kid if I participate? Make new friends? Yeah? Perfect.
Friendship.
Make new friends?
Networking as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Any ideas here? No?
Taller.
Get taller, yeah. Okay.
Let's say it's
Okay.
not very successful.
Yeah. You can see I didn't participate either. Okay, so look, here's some of the things. So some of the ones you mentioned, healthy habits, you make friends, well-being, you're happier, confidence, become a coach, your physical literacy and all that improves. So a role model in your community. So all of these are the sort of things that you might put forward to your CSR proposal. So this is the kind of thing that they're listening to and they want to hear more than the sort of harder kind of assets piece and tickets piece. So the next thing that I want to kind of take that logic next into, so if participating in basketball gives you all of these good health benefits and all of that, the sort of organizations that we've been talking about in CSR, they're about making life better and life better in the community. And what I suppose then we need to try and think about is how we can link our strategy to their strategy. So let's just say we have a lot of women participating in our club, so it's female participation, and that's a big issue in Kosovan society where women are less active, so they want to get more females active. So we can say, look, our club is answering that concern that you have. Or we're taking teenagers off the street, and if they didn't come off the street, they might get into drugs or violence or something, I don't know. So again, that's sort of answering a societal problem. So again, a little challenge just amongst your old friends at your table, but have a think, like, what are the issues in Kosovan society? So like I'm from Ireland. In my society, mental health actually is a big one. Integration of new ethnic communities is a big one. So I don't know, what is it in Kosovo? Is it teenage pregnancy, or it could be anything, it could be anything, but just have a think amongst yourselves. And then logically afterwards, I'm going to ask you how basketball can help with that. So just maybe 2 minutes in your group. So we've got to...
It can take over from the account management part.
Yeah.
So you have to try to 5 minutes because you say that you need to be prepared because of COVID, airport and stuff.
Okay.
And later will be risky.
Okay.
And I won't take the whole day, half an hour. Just close account management, priority, and growth.
Yeah.
And you just tell, in account management, you just share the story about Banda and Tiso, and then...
Yeah, done. We're kind of on time-ish anyway, aren't we?
Yeah, because technically we say until 1, but I didn't know that you
had to
just
leave.
need to leave.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, yeah.
After this one comes the one for account management, right? 90% sure.
I think I need to check on my other slides just to... Do you know how to do it on this one? Yeah.
Yeah, this is yours.
Yeah.
Then this is, yeah, you can wrap up with this, and then I take it
from there.
And I think I won't have time to say goodbye, but great.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise, it was nice to meet you in the flesh. We'll meet again sometime. soon, hopefully. Yeah. Enjoy the match as well tonight.
Yeah.
Jeff is going to check out those, is he?
Yeah. All clear with the goals there? Done?
Yeah, you're doing it on your own. You ready? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Do you want to start then?
Mike.
Spokesperson extraordinaire, yeah.
Okay.
Official.
So we just wrote some of them, like socializing, open-minded. So people are, as you first, when you first or the other lady just said, encourage us that we do not all speak perfect English.
Yeah.
So don't hesitate, and that indicate to us to be more
open.
Yeah.
Confidence.
Yeah, confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, we added the self-confidence as well.
Brilliant.
So violence, bad habits, drugs addiction, these are one of these, because we are facing almost every day, not every day, but we see a lot of young people that are somewhere in the corner, and unfortunately, it's bad. And that's why I think we have to invest, especially to take those children and put it on the
Put them on the right track.
on the right track on sports.
Being aware of taking care of your body, for example.
Yeah.
Health.
Yeah, habit.
Health and
Health?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And long-term health as well, that it'll protect you into the future. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we already mentioned earlier health and social, and I think the young children, they are now at this time addicted to the phones, to the TVs, some gamings, and
yeah. Everywhere, I think, isn't it? Yeah.
It's important that if they come in practices, they are like a new kind of making friendship and like
in the real world.
It's like social learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very important.
Physical activity and
of
social.
course,
engagement. Yeah, brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a comment.
Yeah.
And to take them away from TikTok.
True.
Exactly.
True.
But if you can't get them in real life, get them on TikTok.
Very true.
Here?
Firstly, I would say that a big problem is financial, more importantly, income in the basketball sport. Another one is gender equality, and a huge problem in Kosovo is we're such a judgmental society.
Okay.
So
the openness point actually that they raise can be important. And gender, obviously, because basketball internationally tends to be fairly gender balanced. Great, thank you. And you didn't speak for once.
Nice.
Here, did you have some other extra?
Socializing, as
so
it was mentioned, it teaches them to teamwork, you know. Keep the youth off the streets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. And there's a lifelong social piece to it, isn't there? So you get a kid involved young, but then the kid plays senior, and then they become maybe a coach, or they become an administrator, and there's a lifelong involvement, or there can be. Yeah. Any extras? Yeah.
E para unë vi për një qytetit vogël, që kultura e basketbollit duhet kultivohet, nuk trashëgohet, të më se nuk ka trashëgohet, tash duhet me fillimisht, duhet si kulturë me spjegu të fëmijët.
Says that he comes from a small city where basketball is not a tradition, and they first need to work in installing this mentality and making basketball tradition.
Dhe tash na sapo kemi fillu me kriju si kulturë, me njoft sportin, me pas se basketbolli një sport shumë i mirë, edhe tash ka fillu edhe interesimi dhe ky ka qenë problemi. Edhe pastaj është problemi i dytë, infrastruktura, domethënë se fëmijët vinë, po duhet me pas standard edhe për fëmijë, është kohë e ftoftë, nuk mund të ti na ftoftë të mbosh fëmijët edhe këto janë probleme që sillen të na.
So he also said that what they are doing right now is informing society about the benefits of basketball, but the issue they are dealing with is, for example, right now it's really cold in the gyms and they cannot expose kids to such. Yeah, so they say that they also need to improve infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And in fact, that's a really interesting point because you'll probably go to the municipality to help you improve the infrastructure that I would imagine that they'll need to pay.
Po ne tash jemi në përfundim të palestrës edhe besoj me sezonin tjetër na jemi në palestrën e re edhe tash është diçka mirë të shkuar.
They're about to get the new gym and after the new season they will be playing in their gym.
Okay, very good. Because in return all of these benefits that we've spoken about can be the return, the quid pro quo back to the municipality for the investment. So thanks. So I think we've spoken just here, we've given some ideas about what your challenges are and how basketball can maybe answer those challenges. But here's just some other ideas, and these are sort of, I suppose, truisms from lots of countries, but basketball can help build stronger communities. You know, there's children from different backgrounds together, there's children and adults and grandparents together. It can help improve education, so we know that people who dedicate themselves to a sport tend to perform better also on educational fronts, so the things work better together. It can reduce crime, so sport gets children at a crucial age and teenagers and keeps them off the streets and from going down a different path. It can help improve facilities, so our friend here is the perfect example. So, and better facilities can benefit all sorts of sports and all sorts of other partners. You might even share your facilities with other community groups at different times. Gender equality, as you mentioned, so that's really important, and basketball can really stand over that as well and show that it has a lot of proof, let's say, in that area internationally. It can benefit and support a healthier nation, mental well-being, and we all know that obviously physical health improves also your mental health. And then finally, economic development. So the more investment, the more sponsors, all of that all helps economic development. And I guess in a country like Kosovo where it's fully under construction, it seems, but the economy is moving really fast, so that's really important as well. So, look, this is the same thing done maybe in a few different ways, but I suppose these are a few ideas that you could potentially build programs around. So these are slightly different, a bit like your sponsorship assets, but these are sort of social program assets that you could build an idea around for your CSR sponsor. So you might be able to build a project around gender equality and show that the investment they put in will go towards under 12 and under 14 girls, for example. Social inclusion, so you might show that the project is going to particularly include a different ethnic group. Health and well-being, I think, is obvious, but you can show that it's about participation, or you might be doing a seniors program or a disability program or something. Disability like that, I've mentioned. You can show that it's a program specifically targeting a youth or an underage audience, particularly for social development, so you might be targeting particular demographics who are disadvantaged. It might be showing how you can do a kind of an educational program in tandem with the sports. You might be educating kids on nutrition, on other behaviors through the sport. Facility maintenance, I think we've mentioned that, but it's about improving, the investment can improve the facility. In some countries, by providing a sort of a school holiday activity or a camp for kids, that might be answering a social need. International cooperation, so you might be doing something through the Erasmus program with other countries or strengthening international relations. ambassador program. So obviously that's about using the players that you have perhaps to front up a program. So they might be very good at fronting up a program about gender equality or mental health or whatever it might be. And crime prevention, as mentioned. So I've one final question, actually. How do you say thank you? I'm going to ask you again. Faleminderit. Okay, so I want to say, for me, Faleminderit, because I'm now going to pass back over to Gustavo, but you've been a fantastic group. It's been a real pleasure to work with you for the last day and a half, so thank you. And unfortunately, myself and Jeff have to leave a little bit early, so that's why I'm saying Faleminderit now.
Thank you.
But enjoy the final half hour. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So on this topic, just a quick reminder, this is just a few recommendations on how to follow up with your sponsors. Once you sign a sponsor, it is very important to do account management, okay? There is always the question, should I hire someone to be account manager, should be part of the team? All options are possible and depends on the type of the contract. It will be within your team or you will need to hire someone to take care of the partner. So it could be as simple as keep an Excel document with all the key important milestones of the partnership, but it is very important to do it, to not to assume that they send the money, you deliver the rights, and that's it. There is a constant communication that go in both ways to understand if the rights have been delivered, to understand if he's accomplishing, the brand is accomplishing what they want, and more important, and very, very important, is to adjust if necessary. We have many, many stories from partnerships that are signed in a framework, but then during the partnership, change. And it's great to change, it is good to change. And I will share one story. I was account manager in FIBA for 3 years. So I was in charge of all the global partners for the World Cup in China. And we had one partner, Wanda. I guess you have heard the name if you follow a few things related to FIBA, but Wanda is a multi-billion company in China that does, it's mainly real estate, but also they have hotels, they have theme parks, they have malls. It's a big, big company. So basically what you are partnering with them, you're partnering with 7 companies. So it's very difficult to know what they want. And we made questions, and we went through that long, long time. We signed a deal. There was a political willing to work with us. And the major assets that they had, it was the draw will be the Wanda draw, the draw for the World Cup. And they will have the referee shirt. So if you see any match of top events of FIBA, you will see in the sleeve there is a Wanda logo there. That is only visible, and people who knows about that logo is in China. Outside China, nobody knows what is that blue stamp that the referees have. Now you know. That blue stamp is Wanda. That was the deal that we signed. And everybody was happy at some point because this is what we agreed. And then that deal was signed for 4 years. Good period for the World Cup. We were working hard. They were paying good. And in the middle, before the World Cup, we go and ask, guys, are you happy with this? This is what you want. The guys, yes, well, sleeve in the referee is nice on TV, but still we're not sure. Okay, tell us more about what you're doing, what your CEO doing. The CEO of Wanda is like Steve Jobs, but in China. The guy is unreachable, the guy is a celebrity, and have always 45 people around him. So it's not like I can talk to the CEO. No, that was not possible. So tell us more about the guy. And then they share a story about how he's connected to one particular city in the middle of nowhere in China called Dansai. And every time that they can, they push money through that village because he had a friend when he was a kid that was from that village. It's a very poor village. And now that village is having a great hotel, great houses because he's pushing money through that particular place. So it's a place close to him. And okay, we were working around that, and then at the end we saw that everything that he was doing in that city was connected to kids. School, pitch for playing the kids football, a basketball stadium, all the things were connected to kids. So then we took back that information, and then we proposed, let's do a kids program in China. And then the internal battle started because I came to the another bosses in the building to say, guys, we need to put kids in the court. That's something that we have never done before. in that way, because we have some kids giving the ball, but then when we told them, guys, we need to put the kids with the players at the beginning, no, that's too much like football, we are not like football. Okay, it's true, we can do it differently, let's try to find a way, but this will make an impact in this partner. So we had 6 months of meetings trying to convince the team of competitions that they didn't want 24 kids in the court when the anthems are singing, because you know very well this is not tunnel like kids in football, so we had to do it completely different. So we work, finally it was approved, and this one that was now in charge of recruiting all these kids, that they will have the opportunity of their life to be there in the court with players playing the World Cup. Long story short, the first group of kids selected was, of course, in Dansai. So they came from Dansai to the opening game when China played. It was massive success. The guy, the CEO, we have pictures of the CEO crying when the thing happened. During the World Cup, we were talking about the renewal. And we were looking for a renewal of 4 years, another cycle. We cannot say that the kids did that, but then the renewal that we managed to get was 12 years. With 12 years working with them, full contract, money. Now we have that partner for 12 years more, and that changed totally the partnership. That was a totally shift from the partnership. We keep doing the sleeves in the referee uniform because we have a contract, but now everything that we do with Wanda is kids. Everything that we, even if it's Wanda Plaza, Wanda Hotel, that changed, and of course changed, our life in terms of the contract that we got, because we were very happy to be able to make that change. And the contract, people who did that contract didn't know, people who was negotiating there didn't know the political elements of that contract, didn't know, and then one story break a different elements in the conversation, and that can happen to any contract, to any sponsor, once you understand that the other person is also a human being, more than the brand and the visibility and how many beers I will sell. Everybody cares about something. It is your role to make the questions, to understand what they care. And once you sign a sponsor, you do that. That is an impressive, an incredible job, very hard to sign someone to pay you money, but once they pay you money, they are with you. You need to ask questions. You need to involve him, invite him, take a beer with him, hear from them what they are looking for and how you can produce that. Then that connection, it will last forever. At least for us, 12 more years, when we were expecting to have it only for 4. So these just stories to illustrate the power that you will have to make a change, because you are in a privileged position to be in contact with the passion and the heart of the people. And you need to be aware of that and use it in the nice way, in the way that it is beneficial for them and beneficial for you. So that, this is summarized with this account management, is to understand what is the position of our counterpart, and there are many ways to do it. There are now platforms and a lot of technical tools to do that in a very fancy way. If you want to do it, great, but Excel sheet is more than enough. Few colors, what is going good, what is going bad, constant reviews. Don't wait until something goes bad to hear from them. Go anticipate. If you know that something didn't happen, the LED broke, call them. First thing from you, guys, LED is broken, we will compensate it this way, you will have extra minutes here, but this is account management. And it is very important because, like Maeve correctly said, it is way easier to get an extension from your partner than get a new one. So any partner that you have, treat them well, care about them in a, I would say, honest and build that trust in order to make sure that that relation goes beyond whatever amount of money they are investing on you.
Can I share a story?
Please, please.
So I had a meeting with a sponsor who was in contact with the owner,
okay,
the CEO of the company, big company, and they were able, they showed their interest to sponsor, but he didn't have time to meet me. All the time, for months I was chasing him. And once he says, okay, you can come to me, I'm going out to cut my hair at the barber shop. That's the only place you can meet me. And I went there. He was cutting his hair. I stand in behind. My contact with him was through the
glass.
Through the glass, through the mirror. And we finished the case right there. So.
No, it's very interesting. Sometimes, and many times, you won't have a nice presentation in the back. That's why all the figures and all that idea of understanding and be aware of what you can offer, it's very important. Something that I say always when I share this information is that there's perfect presentation. That doesn't exist. And I think you saw all today that the 5 groups did an amazing job with the presentations, and some of them had the video at the beginning, some of them at the end. Both are good. The thing is that you need to understand what is the power of it to listen. Presentations in sales is not to speak. It's not for you to share. It's to hear. Because your role is to get a second shot, to get a second meeting. And to do that, you need to get the information. You can research all what you want in internet. You can get everything from people that works there. That helps. But if from the person that is looking to pursue that sponsorship give you information, that is the base of your proposal. I always advise, and this is personal opinion, maybe not as academic as it should be, I don't present packages in the first meeting. I will never present that package in the first meeting because I don't know if they will like it. It's like going to Nike and say, you will have the biggest swoosh in the court. Guys, we don't like the swoosh. Everybody knows the swoosh, and they're right. So what is the package? It is for a second meeting. You can present everything that you have, right, it's okay. But then when you get information, you come back with a package. It's the same for account management. You can propose on how it's going, but then when you come back, if you're talking to a watch company, you need to be always on time. So you need to create a culture that everything for those guys is on time and never delay. We try to work with TISO. If we delay 1 day on something with TISO, it's terrible. It's terrible for us, terrible for them. It's catastrophe. And they are the partner, they are never late. We say deadline that day, these guys are always there. So with them, we have to work a bit differently. So that is very important. Again, from here, think and understand how everything that we have talked today will impact your day-to-day goals, but also relations. Because at the end, guys, we can search for the biggest company at left, biggest company at right, but at the end, and I heard this before, everybody is 1 call away. So it's the network, your network, and the network of your network which will make you make that call or open that door that can change the fate of your club. Because it's not the same to have a budget with 1 or 2 sponsors that have it with 7. And that is a very important role that you need to take, to embrace in the way that it is easier for you. Not in the way that you cannot put mountains if you don't know how to climb them. You need to understand what are the access. If you have contacts in A, B, and C company, go to those companies. Talk to your people to understand those places. But I want the big one who's next door, but I don't know nobody there. Maybe later. I will know at some point. And that human connection, it is what will change the commercial future of your club. And this is what I want you to take from today. It is, strategy is fine, plan is fine, sales is fine, but it's your network and the capacity of influence that you have in that network which will make a difference. You, your team, your president, your CEO, your players. That network is very important as well, and those are the ones that you need to leverage from. And that is one of the biggest recommendations for today. So what are the basics of the sales strategy? Your strategy, we cannot stand up here and say this is the best strategy. Every club is in a different situation. Some of them have money and they want to increase, not maybe the money, but the people going to the stadium. Some people, it's literally money. We need dollars, we need euros in our account. The strategy will be different. We need to change our positioning. Maybe people believe that we are all violent or ultras, changing that, so then the sales strategy change. So this is up to you, but please keep in account your people, the people you work with, the people you are accounted for, this network that you created. It is very important to strengthen it and to work from it. Ambassadors, for the people who can speak for you. Commercial ambassadors could be your player, but could be also a former player, could be a former coach, could be a person who's very close to the team, a singer, which is very close to the team, he loves the team, and she or him will be delighted to receive a shirt and say something in the venue. Create those connections. Sometimes they will ask you money. It's worth it sometimes. Sometimes it's just a good relationship. You always give them tickets, and you always give them access, because at some point, With people have money, more money makes no sense, but access and make them feel important, and then select them and use them to attract more people. The wow factor is very connected to that. Always keep something, think on something that can differentiate you, okay? So the differentiation starts in the first meeting. Imagine going to a brand, that Gatorade brand, and bringing a player, because the player starts the presentation. And imagine that that player knows, in a way, the company. That is something that not everybody's doing, okay? Maybe taking the player is too much, but then imagine if they are flexible with the location, imagine to do the presentation in the arena. Set up the screen, do it in a different way, make them understand that you can do things in a different way. Because everybody will be going there to ask for money. Other clubs, you're competing with other clubs, other sports, and other people. So make them understand that you are listening to them and you can speak their language, which I'm not talking about which language are they speaking, it's in their terms, okay? And that is a very important role in wherever you are building as your strategy. So it's just things to keep in consideration. And number 4, this is a long game, okay? There's no point to expect yes in a first presentation. And we always say, since there is no perfect presentation, the second will be always better than the first. The third will be better than the second, and so on and so on. I know clubs and federations that have signed a partner after 4 years of conversations. So 4 years is the limit of patience? I don't know. But you need to be patient because this is a long-term game. I have a story from a club in Uruguay that they have this company, and it was an insurance company, if I remember correctly. They were pushing. Nothing happened. The guy was good relationship. They knew it, The marketing guy took a risk, and they invite him to a game, not a big game, but they invite him to a game, maybe youth final, something like that. And he gave free visibility to the competition of the insurance company. They put it on the table in the court, in the LED, and he invited the CEO of the rival company to see how the competition looked in the court. Next day, they signed the deal. Creative, a bit ballsy, risky. Would I do that? Maybe not. I don't feel confident enough to bring the competition of the person, but he told me it was the right setup, it was the right moment, they felt it could make a difference, and they made it. So think ahead that, yes, this is a long game, but you will succeed if you have more information. And the way to do that, make questions. Go to the street, go out. Individual, please. Individual, yeah. You can discuss, of course, but I will ask everyone to finish. Two, to make it quicker. Everybody's hungry, it's Sunday, so we make quicker too. If you want to do 3, welcome. No problem. Done there? We can start? No? Yeah? I don't have assistants, so I will hear and I take notes.
E para është strategjia për sponsor, gjë që ku mësu diçka se si punohet me sponsor dhe do ta ndroj strategjinë komplet sponsorëve.
Okay, so the first one is to create a strategy on how to deal with sponsors and how to approach them, as he learned this today.
Edhe e dyta është planifikimi në detaje, domethënë klubi, si kjo është.
And the second one is a detailed planning on the level of club.
Okay. Thank you. Next one. Quick. Two things, quick. Still working? Okay, think a bit. This, you have it ready? Let's go with this table.
Okay, I only have one,
yeah.
So I'm going to make a presentation about my club.
Presentation about the club, great. There, working? Everybody ready here? Yeah, good.
Okay, two things. First is create a good presentation for the new sponsor, potential sponsor. And the second that I think is great, and again, I don't know why we don't do here in Kosovo, but work with the team to go out and work in the community.
Community work, okay. CSR,
yes,
CSR strategy.
He took one of them, the CSR.
CSR, good.
Get the community involved, and then my number one was go out and ask. It's free, make a list to tackle.
Make questions.
Like make a list and then ask people around him.
Perfect, that's great. Great.
The first is strategy of the team.
Strategy for the team?
Yeah, and second, reorganization of the team.
Reorganize. But you mean your workforce?
Yes.
Okay. Great, next.
First I have to deliver this to my team.
Okay.
The knowledge
to share information.
To share information
Great.
with my team.
Thank you.
Come up with a reorganization plan strategy.
Okay.
Of course, we consider this fun engagement and Facebook things and
good
everything. And of course, make a better presentation with the tools we learned today.
Great presentation, very good. Thank you. Here.
Thank you. Just one working presentation of the club.
Great. We will come back in a few months and we'll ask. We would like to see those presentations. So let's take note of that, Florian.
Same here.
Presentation. Good. No, it's not a bad idea if we go through those presentations when we are back.
We have same.
Yeah. No. Good. Good. It's very good.
And try to work as a team.
Work as a team. Perfect.
Teamwork.
Okay. Very good. Table.
Thank you. To hire at least 2 people, 1 account manager and 1 dedicated marketing guy who will be dedicated on doing tasks.
Great. Amazing.
Because most of the things were said, I would like to add holding any kind of event with the partnerships or sponsorships that we have.
Sorry?
Holding any kind of events.
Events, okay.
Yes.
With events with partners. Great.
And I would also like to mention checklists.
Great. Checklist. If something was said that you believe it's also important, say it so we can keep track of that. For example, if you are looking to do a new presentation, we will just can say that as well, no problem.
Okay, so first I have implementing a presentation when meeting a potential sponsor.
Okay.
Yeah. The second one is very necessary. It's getting marketing equipment like cameras, GoPros, mics.
Okay, that was from it. Okay.
Yeah. And then we have teamwork, so having basic regular team meetings 2 or 3
Very important.
times
Very
a week.
important.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
He's still working.
Still working on it. Okay, think about it. There, you're ready?
Më du me shpjegu sponsorit mira që sjell basketbollin komunitetin aty ku jetoj.
So he will highlight the benefits of basketball to their sponsors.
Okay, very good. Next.
Okay, so I got 2. I think we need to improve the presentation of our club and maybe hire a social media manager.
Good. We'll be hiring a lot of people here. Nice.
Me punu ma shumë me media, me rrjetet sociale, me prezentu punën e ekipës edhe poshtë edhe sponsor.
To work more in social media, to present the work the club does, and also sponsors.
Good. Social media exposure. Okay, next. Thank you.
So he says that most of the things were already mentioned.
What is the most important that you like from everything here?
He thinks that teamwork is crucial, especially in the marketing aspect.
Teamwork, great. Last one here.
Yeah. Presentation of the club and strategy of the club and incoming.
Generation.
Yes, generation.
Good. Very good. Last one, we have one pending in the table. One more? What is the most important from the list?
Po kryesisht të shkoj prezent dhe do të strategjia dhe formimi a unë kisha bota është kuadër klubit të bisedot formohet një grup që tashet formohet për mi thithë sponsorët për klubin.
He thinks that planning is crucial as well to form a group that will create a working group that will communicate all this.
Very good, very good. Thank you, thank you very much for your time, for your commitment, for your interaction. You were an amazing, amazing group. It's the first time we do this one. The claps are for you. This was very good. I hope that you learned a few things. We tried to make it as practical as possible, that you, from tonight, you start to do things, think differently, and there will be another opportunity to reconnect. And I'm serious with this. I will push for maybe to have a session in the next space to see those presentations, to see if what you learn here is actually moving forward, and with the, I won't say expertise, but with the all presentations that we have made, we can contribute a bit more on how to make it and take it to the next level. So very happy to have the opportunity to come here. So I will hand over now to Florian for final remarks, but thank you very much, and yeah, very happy to know and work here in Kosovo.
Thank you, Gustavo. Thank you. So, is everybody still alive? Okay? You're still okay? Okay, I would like everybody to stand up, please. Take your chair. If you can. I'm sure you will. So, what we're going to do, we are going to create a circle with the chairs. Okay, so everybody brings the chair. We'll move the table a little bit over here, those tables over there, and then we create a circle with the chairs and everybody sits in a circle. Okay?
And now we play the chair game.
Okay. Let's create a circle. Perfect. And then you sit on your chair, okay? So everybody make space. All right? That's okay. We should be okay. Yeah. Please join us, everybody. I'm just going to steal one chair for me. Okay.
Hello, my name is Gustavo, and I'm addicted to basketball.
All right. Do we have everyone? All right, good. This is something that I really like usually after a workshop like that, because you know, we have just spent 1.5 days all together, It has been a long journey for you. We understand that. You know, it has been a lot of content presented by different people, and you know, it's just a lot to go through. But what I like to do is that
Këtë gjë preferon të bëj mas çdo seminarit që mbahen, pasi që kemi kalu së bashku një ditë e gjysë dhe I kemi kalu tema të ndryshme, ka që më bëhe edhe një përmbledhje.
So what I would like to do now is just to take a few minutes, so I don't want this to be too long, but just to take a few minutes to reflect on what we have done all together during 1 day and a half. So I would like, maybe not everyone, but maybe we go through everyone, to actually share your experience. How has been your experience living this workshop with us? You know, tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, what you liked, what you didn't like, but more importantly, what you're going to take away, you know, reflecting all what you have received and putting your club in perspective, you know, what you would like to do in the next 2 weeks. You know, immediately after this workshop, you say, this is the thing I'm going to do right now. Like in 2 weeks, this is done. In 2 weeks, I create my TikTok account, or I do this, I do that, okay? But more generally, just to give the floor to everyone, I would like you to share your experience.
Do të thotë, kjo nuk ka më zgjatë shumë, kemi më bë vetëm një reflektim për tema të cilat janë diskutu, për këshilla që I keni marrë dhe me tregu çka ju ka pëlqyer më shumë ti, nëse ka diçka që nuk ka pëlqyer, po ashtu edhe me na tregu rreth planeve të cilat keni me implementu, për shembull për 2 javë të ardhshme çka keni me bëa, keni me hap një account në TikTok apo diçka tjetër.
So let's start maybe with you, if you don't mind. I would like to have your your view on how you have experienced the workshop, and you know, just your experience. Tell us about your experience.
Firstly, I want to thank all your staff that organized this kind of workshop. It was very good and very successful for us. I think that we passed through a lot of things that we didn't do ever in our teams, and we hope that we learn how can we approach to the team, how can we approach to the sponsors, and how can we do to organize much better the teams in future.
Thank you. Do you need to translate or?
Së pari e falenderon stafin për organizimin e këtij eventi, pasi që kam mësuar shumë gjëra për cilat nuk ka qenë I vetëdijshëm më herët.
Let me ask you, what did you expect before coming to the workshop? When you were walking in, first minutes, you were thinking, okay, what are we going to do? What did you have in your mind?
To be honest, it was quite a surprise. It's not like I had an idea of what is going to be practiced here, but overall it was a very new experience. It was very productive. We've got to learn that marketing is very important for taking a club forward and just taking responsibility. So yeah.
Thank you.
Ka thënë që në fillim nuk ka pas një ide se çka kemi mësu këtu, po më shumë t'i ka mësu rreth rëndësisë së marketingut edhe impaktin që ka.
Okay, let me ask the same question to maybe someone else. You.
Give me your microphone.
The
same question. Okay, first of all, I just want to thank you guys all for coming here, and especially the Federation, Elvira and Norben, for creating this opportunity for us. And before I answer the question, I just want to share something with quite honesty. We thought that we were professional, but honestly, we were far away from professional, and all the structure of organizing with the fans, including how we should treat the sponsors as well, the checklist with Jeff, a lot of things. As I said, we thought that we know everything, but now we understand that we have to work hard based on all the recommendation and what we learned here today. And I'm afraid that a lot of things what we learn, how the club, the board members, I mean, how much they will, I would say, accept all of this what we learn to implement in our clubs. And this is a great opportunity for us to go step forward in being with the clubs in elite in Europe and in the world. About the experience, it was a wonderful experience. For me, it's not the first time that I've been in this kind of meetings and workshop, but this is highway, better, professional, and what is very important, it was very, I would say, interacting. We were not only listening and seeing the boring stuff, but we were engaging a lot and we learned a lot. Again, thank you guys. We really appreciate what you've done with us in these 2 days. Again, thank you, the Federation as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You want to give a translation? Okay, good. No, it's wonderful to hear your experience. I mean, and hopefully you guys share a lot of what has been said, because that's really how we wanted to design the program, to try to be engaging, even though, you know, we were discussing in the table over there how we could make it even more engaging next time, you know, so we are trying always to go in that direction. So fantastic to hear that from you. Still okay in English? Okay. So the thing I wanted to say is also that we will repeat that at the end, but there's going to be a second visit where we are going to touch on other topics. So we'll try to keep this engagement, and we count on you to keep that engagement alive. Let me ask the very same question, but in a different, let's say, way, to maybe Elvira. What did you expect when we started this program? I mean, you knew about what we wanted to do, of course, linking this with your strategic plan, but did you expect something different? Were you satisfied with the level of engagement, and what do you see as a next step for you and for the clubs to take advantage of what has been given?
Pja filloj po kthena pak prapa, se po do mu kthy tek për Superligën është e njoftun, kam pas mi plotsu kriteret edhe Radmilës, kriteret për licencim kur e kemi shu te klubet e Superligës, është e kam pas afatin, nuk i kam plotsu, e kam pas edhe një afat, nuk i kam plotsu, i kam thirë në telefon, nuk i kam plotsu, kanë fillu mi plotsu, dikush i ka plotsu mirë, dikush si ka plotsu mirë, po në përgjithësi nuk kemi qenë të kënaqur me procesin e plotësimit të kritereve për licencim për klubet e Superligës së meshkujve. Edhe aty kemi pa që është një problem shumë i madh, sepse klubet nuk janë mësu me plotësu edhe me dhënë informata kaq detajume si ato që i kemi përgatit grupi punus për licencim të klubeve. Mandej, pas kësaj, Radmila Tërner, që është përgjegjëse për Federatat Nacionale në FIBA, unë e kam edhe mentore, edhe në konsultime sipër me ta, e kam thonë që duhet me bëj diçka për klubet. Na si federat duhet me bëj diçka për klubet, duhet me bëj, sepse kemi edhe fuqizimin e klubeve, kemi pjesë të planit strategjik, pra një prej 5 objektivave tona. Kështu që duhet me bëj diçka, duhet me menu diçka që me i bëj për me fuqizu dhe me i zhvillu klubet tona. Edhe tu bisedu, tu e përmend në secilin bisedë që kemi pas online me Radmilën, pastaj kemi ardhur cilat tema janë ato që do të mi prek, është qeverisja mirë, transparenca, llogaridhënia, që në këtë rast nuk janë prek në mënyrë direkte, po indirekte, sepse këto që kemi mësu ka të bëjë me transparencën, qeverisjen e mirë edhe me llogaridhënien. Edhe ajo çka nuk po më thonë befasu, sepse unë e di komunitetin e basketbollit në Kosovë, sa din, sa ka njohuri, po kom qenë shumë e kënaqur me angazhimin e juve dhe me feedbackun që ju e keni jep. Kështu që unë po besoj që te komuniteti basketbollit ka hala ma shumë potencial se na çka e kemi kallëzu deri qtash. Do me thonë veç duhet me punu në grup, mos me punu individualisht, me lon me fol njëri tjetrin, edhe me dëgju njëri tjetrin, edhe për me mri deri te çto që sot kur i keni punu në grupe ka qenë fascinuese, krejt ato që ai keni punu. Edhe unë jam shumë e lumtur në emër të Federatës Basketbollit, për keqit punë që kemi bërë 2 ditë, kemi qenë dykon 23, keni qenë 23 persona, që është numër i kënaqshëm sepse kemi prit 20 deri në 30, nuk kanë ardhur ato klubet, ato që nuk kanë ardhur, ato janë humbse në këtë rast, po megjithatë ju jeni ata që keni me jep mesazhin kur dilni prej kësaj salle, keni me përçu që çka keni mësu, kështu që kur të vi në vizitën tjetër, po besoj që numri kena me pas nevojë edhe për një sallë më të madhe. Më thonë faleminderit shumë për fund, për angazhimin e juve dhe për përkushtimin edhe për vikendin që e keni lënë, për me ardhur këtu edhe për me mësua dhe tash me shku me nda këtë këto njohuri me klubet e juve. Faleminderit shumë.
Thank you. Thank you, and no, it's of course very pleasant to hear very positive comments and to also read in your different eyes. You know, I'm trying to read all the different faces and to have eye contact with everybody, but really to see that it seems you have enjoyed the 1 day and a half with us and that you have found it very useful. Let me ask you one final question, and I would like everybody to say a word. Even in your own language, I'm sure I will understand. But I will pass the mic to everyone and then pass the mic to everyone to say, okay, among all the sessions you have received, is there one that, sticks to your mind, not because it was the best, not because it was the worst, but just because something it was like, you know what? Out of this workshop, everything was great, but that's the thing I would remember. When you walk, when you will be outdoor, when you will be in your car, you will think about that thing that you received from the workshop. So please let us know very quickly, quick, one thing.
Keni me tregu një gjë që ju ka pëlqyer më shumë ti në këtë seminar?
Ose në gjuhën e ju I tha, ose ashtu domethënë çështë që jeni. So I'll be very quick. I was dealing with presentations to the sponsors, so presentation is something I'm going to work on after I go.
What was the acronym once again?
CSR.
CSR.
Presentation.
Presentations.
CSR.
Nice. All right, Leila.
Teamwork,
Teamwork.
good. Strategy with sponsors.
Can I just say some words, because I have a microphone in my hand. First of all, I want to thank Elvira for inviting me. I'm not part of the clubs in Kosovo. And the only thing that I liked a lot, all the work, and it is fascinating work that have been done with the strategic plan. And the one thing that I'll remember from this session, it was half day for me today, is the fact that we have 23 people from different clubs, and I will remember that all these clubs that maybe during the championship they are playing against each other, they are all speaking together, they are communicating, and they are working to grow their own clubs. And for me, this is one of the, for me personally, is something that all the federation and all the clubs should be learn from, because it's very, very important that out of the court we are together, maybe speaking about the strategic and all the things that can grow us as individual. And on the court, of course, everybody wants to win. So this is the sport all about, and I believe that the Basketball Federation of Kosovo has achieved it, and I say that congratulations for that.
Thank you.
I would say CSR, but also TikTok account.
Nice.
Thank you. I will be short. It was interesting for me, importance of having formal account management. So it was something interesting for me.
Cool.
Teamwork?
Definitely the presentation.
Presentations.
Strategia për sponsorët.
Strategy for sponsors.
Sponsor strategy.
Tuni zonet që për hapën në audiencë motivuese edhe më fokusu në website.
Focus on website and voice of tone.
Kësiri për foli Shqipe, dhe. Për kroja e femnave.
Teamwork. Teamwork.
Temat të cilat janë prezentu dhe forma e mirë që janë prezentu ato tema.
Topics that were presented and the way they were presented, the format that was used.
Prezentimi dhe ekipa edhe punë ekipore.
Presentation, team and teamwork.
Social media marketing.
Më le përshtypja jo qasja me sponsorin kinez atje që s'ka hek dorë 6 muja sa, kështu që edhe na do të më konë pak ma këm gullës edhe mos mu dërzu derisa ta gjejmë një sponsor.
Approach and to be persistent and not give up.
Teamwork.
Sponsorship in general.
How strong is Facebook in Kosovo?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for this. It's good that you are, taking one thing away, obviously many more things. But certainly there is one thing I really would like to thank you, is because none of you have actually mentioned game day operations, which was presented by Jeff. Yeah. So this is giving me the opportunity to decrease his fee. Thank you so much. So what I would like to do now, before everybody leaves, I would like to pass the floor to Radmila just to say a final word on, essentially, just to close. Also to Elvira, a final word, but also how you're going to get the presentations and so on. So I pass the floor to you, Radmila.
First, actually, before I go into that, I would like to thank our team, the guys from HQ as well, because without their support, as much as we talk with Elvira, it would be difficult to implement that. So thank you guys, and of course our consultants. I have to say that for the second part of the workshop, we'll build some more good stuff that you'll use, hopefully. So we of course are going to brainstorm. We are going to get feedback from you as well when you go and reflect a little bit more on that. And of course, through Elvira, we'll do that. But again, Federation has been amazing. They have done a fantastic job. As you know, not just with the strategy and the fact that the empowerment of the clubs was really up there as probably the #1 priority. And it's mainly because together they cannot grow without you, and they know this very well. So this is why this is so important. You're the community, you have the players, you have the heart of basketball in your cities, you have to grow that, and we all have to help you. So this is what it's all about. So we really hope that you bring something together, and next time the team will be bigger. Now, going back to the content, as we promised, you'll get, of course, the presentation. You'll get some additional information, such checklist and stuff, as we discussed. And of course, we'll talk also with Elvira what else is needed, if you like, as a feedback from this workshop, if it's anything additional that we can show you, including some good practices maybe here and there. We already started a discussion about maybe a common website where the Federation can help. So there are certain things that, again, this is why the teamwork is important. Talking about a brand, you are a brand of Kosovo basketball. You're a brand as a league. So, this is why NBA and others are so strong, because they understand that, being together is crucial. So we'll identify dates in accordance to your calendar, also for the next topics. In the meantime, please stay in touch. Through Elvira, through the Federation, any questions you might have, of course, we'll continue to be in touch. From me personally, I think they do understand, right? Yeah. It's just mainly about, from me personally and also from the European office, huge thank you. As you know, we already work on a number of programs together, but this is now taking it to the step forward. And just again to repeat, you're the first globally to have this workshop. Yeah. We need to know exactly how you feel. So you're already in history in so many ways. First FIBA Plus strategies federation in Europe and the first club league workshop in the world. So congratulations to all of you for sticking with us, and good luck.
Just also one final thing, I just would like to thank you for the translation. This was just amazing.
And last, I have one question. Yesterday we had a team that won a prize. And what is going on?
Jeff left early.
Excellent question. So I leave you liaise after the workshop. Teamwork. Elvira, maybe just a final word, and then I have one last request before we all leave.
Yeah, that's Florian.
Me thonë në emër të Federatës Basketbollit I bjen në emër t'juvin, po faleminderit shumë që jeni konë edhe ju lutna krejt këto që I keni mësu, me shku me I shpërnda të klubet e juve dhe me punu bashk, sepse klubet e forta e përbëjnë federatën e fort, federata e fort e përbëjnë federatën ndërkombëtare të fort, kështu që veç si komunitet, veç bëhemi më të fort. Faleminderit shumë. Yes.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for attending this two-day workshop. And please make sure, I have already highlighted it, but make sure that everything that you have learned here will be translated into practice in your basketball club. It was already mentioned. We empower you, but you empower us. So it's a two-way street. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Edhe po shkojmë drejt së bashku, si te krym Floriani. Now, yes.
Most important.
One key word has been said many times: teamwork. So as a team, you know what teams do. You know, they go in the middle. So what do we say? What? Like Kosovo basketball?
Kosovo, just Kosovo.
Kosovo?
1, 2, 3, Kosovo.
Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Kosovo!
Yes. Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. It was very nice. Thank you. Thank you for the time.